Yo, 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 everybody. I'm Gabriel Flores, also known as Maybe Lee, coming on YouTube today to present another episode to my talk show series that I have got started for you guys. A little bit about the show. We I present two topics, two main points. The first is something about me, something I know, personal story, personal knowledge. The second one is another topic that I pair up with it. All of the talk shows are pre planned until the end of the show. And so basically, each morning that I record, I go through and gather all my ideas and do research if I need to. And then every day at 4 o'clock, or at 3:30 I start studying, and then by 4 o'clock, at 4 o'clock, I start recording for 17 minutes. Every episode is 17 minutes, with the exception of a couple where I had to make adjustments and add a few minutes here and stuff like that. And I've missed a couple days, so I had to, on those particular times, I recorded two episodes back to back the next day, and there's two instances of that. And the finale, I hope you guys have been following. If not, go back to my episodes in the playlist that I have for you guys and get caught up on all the topics we've been talking about so far. And then stick around because the finale is in 9 days. 9 days from tomorrow, the finale starts and lasts 3 days. It's a 3-day finale. And the finale is basically where I turn a negative into a positive. So if you guys want to see how that's done, how we're going to turn something negative into a positive just by standing here, just by talking, come witness the magic, because that's what's going to happen. And a little bit more about the finale is like the mountain in my life and features a famous producer. The climax is in a couple days, which is where we start getting into the height of the talk show. And the climax is like the culmination of all my secrets to this life. And so I'm trying to make it exciting for you guys, while at the same time we're going to be doing some learning and growth as well, which is really the primary function here, is to get that growth and to learn something a little bit higher from this. That's the main thing. But the climax is important too, because we all have to be entertained. We need that little extra whatever it is in our lives. And this is what I considered a climax moment, which will be coming up soon. So stick around, guys. Stick around for that. It'll be pretty cool. I want to discuss my tattoos. As of right now, I only have 2 tattoos. The most recent one is the one on my hand, and basically it's a butterfly that has a shooting star going behind it. And the shooting star shoots through my hand and goes onto my finger right here, my ring finger. And so it's just basically a shooting star. And basically, the reason why I got this is to basically something special for me, something that meant something to me, to remember not only the people in my life that I've lost, who have died, rest in peace, their spirits and bodies and all that stuff, but also anybody in the world who has passed away. Unfortunately, everybody has to die, and it's a sad thing. For people like me, we don't know too much about death, other than it has to happen. And so that's sort of why I got this, for something special for me, so I can remember those people and to just never forget, basically, because you can forget something like that, and that's a fundamental part to this life. So you don't want to forget something like that for too long, because you go too long with your head in the clouds and then you come back down and remember everybody that's died and that you have to die too, and that you don't know too much about death. And so this is kind of something, a thing to kind of protect me from that, and then also it's going to work as a way for me to even learn to gain knowledge about death and stuff like that too, because I'm just going to be thinking about it more, and I'm going to be doing more stuff relating to death, and I'll get more knowledge that way. So this is a multi-purposed tattoo and stuff like that. So it's just I wanted it all black because I didn't want it to be too girly, because a butterfly is typically, it's not too girly, for starters, but it could be thought of as a girl thing, but it really isn't. A butterfly really isn't a girl thing, but it could be seen that way. So, just to protect against that thought, I went all black with it, did an all black butterfly. And the star kind of made it almost kind of teenage girly thing too. But it's a black star and it's a shooting star, so I hope that kind of differentiates it. So I think it kind of looks cool. I think the stars kind of look cool on it. It doesn't. If they were colored stars, I would think they might look like they were teenage girl type stars. But with the butterfly tattoo, you can see when you look at the color of it, it's black. Basically, and where it's on my hand. That you put those pieces of information together, you'll see, and stuff like that. So I got it to basically, the thing where when somebody passes away, you always you remember them in your mind and stuff like that, and you remember the beauty of the person. You remember their beautiful smile, the beautiful freckle on their cheek or something, or the way they laughed, and you remember these beautiful characteristics about the person who passed away, and that's what the butterfly symbolizes. Those beautiful aspects of those memories and stuff like that. And the shooting star just represents how the memories shoot through your mind like a shooting star. Memories of these, and it kind of it gives an explanation for how I think the things that I know about death, that when the person dies, all that you're left with is the memories. And so I just impart some knowledge onto this tattoo of what is left is, you remember you remember the beautiful things about the person, and the memories are like shooting stars because they're not always there. And how do you find them? Do you have a telescope and do you go out and look for those memories, or do they come by every so often? Do you stand by and wait for the shooting star, or do you monitor the greater universe and know of all shooting stars that are in the vicinity, and you're ready and prepared to check it out each time? You don't really know about those memories about the dead people, but they are like a shooting star. So that's kind of the main gist of it. Of course, I had people die first, so the death part came before the tattoo. The idea for the tattoo came after, because I've had people die before I got the tattoo. Obviously, well, not obviously, because maybe not all people have had people die in their lives. But pretty much, I think almost everybody, I'd say like 99% of people, have heard of people dying from the news, TV, movies. But there are going to be some people out there, a small percentage, that have never heard of anybody dying. And those are the people who don't watch TV, who don't listen to radio, and who are insulated within wherever they're at. So there are people that are going to be like that. The people around them never talk about it, or even they themselves have never had anybody die or have heard of anybody dying. It's true. It's a fact. That's a fact. And so that's going to be about 1% of the population. So, that's a different way of looking at 1%, at the 1%. And I also have a tattoo I got before that, before my butterfly. This one costed about $150, and I'm fairly satisfied with it. The guy could have done a little bit better filling in the black, but it's okay. And I drew this by hand, freehand. It was freehand. All of the little designs are freehand. But I looked at another object, but I freehanded what I was looking at. And then the one on my chest is from my military years. It's one of the medals that I earned. A very special medal, a medal that I really like. It's a really cool looking medal. It's my favorite medal that I earned when I was in the military, when I was overseas in Iraq. I earned quite a few medals when I was over there, but this one in particular is really cool looking. Their wings, they look like the medal itself our wings. They're metal wings with stars on top of it, and below it says Air Crew. And then the stars up top are gold stars. So you can see, I got a lot of stars on my on my body already from the medal, and then from this butterfly tattoo. With those two together, that's a total of 6 stars I have on my body so far. And yeah, so the one on my chest goes from about here to here and goes about here. It's not finished yet, so you only have an outline of it. And it's a military looking one, so it looks like it looks military, but they are wings. So even though it's military, they're wings, which signifies like a bird and stuff like that. And so my tattoos inadvertently kicked off a future tattoo list that is nature themed. I never intended to say, all of my tattoos I want to be animals like birds or insects or, the stars in the night sky. They just happened that way. It just ended up like that. So I want to stick to the same theme, because when you look at people's tattoos, when they have like a sleeve or even just wherever on their body, they usually go together. They're not going to have, nature stuff like I have, like a butterfly and wings, and then have, let's see, a piece of technology machinery or something. Because it doesn't really make sense. But for in this particular case, they're all nature stuff. Thankfully, if not, I would have thought of something to incorporate it. So I want to follow the pattern of what I've seen so far with tattoos going across in different areas of the body. I want to kind of tie the one on my hand in to the one on my chest by doing. I want to put a path going up my arm, like a path that you walk on when you're going hiking up a mountain or something like that. And the path is going to say living on the ledge. And then around the path, you're going to have, it's going to be encrusted with like rocks and like flower looking things or thorns and just different stuff from nature going all the way up my arm. And then up here on my arm, I'm going to have a jaguar. And I'm going to have to blend it in somehow with the wings on my chest. So as you can see, the way I'm going to do it, and the path is going to go from the butterfly, leading all the way up here to my shoulder to the jaguar. And the jaguar is going to be incorporated with the wings on my chest. So eventually I'm going to have an entire sleeve, almost an entire sleeve, going up my arm to my chest, and it's all going to tie together eventually. But right now, I just have one on my hand and the one on my chest, and they're separate, but eventually they're going to be together as one, and it's going to make sense eventually. I never planned for it to be like that, but it worked out that way, and that's how I thought. After I got the butterfly tattoo, I thought about it, that these are both things with wings and stars and stuff. Let's continue the nature theme and just advance it and tie it all together so we have one continuous piece like a sleeve. It's almost like a sleeve, but it's a different kind of sleeve. A sleeve would just be on my arm, but this is going up my arm and then my chest and my hand and stuff like that. An artist, Tupac is an artist that has a lot of tattoos. Tupac, I always remember his tattoos. He has a picture of an AK-47 on his stomach that says Thug Life. Thug Life stands for something. It's an acronym that he created. And then he has another tattoo on his right pectoral muscle of a Egyptian princess, like a pharaoh's wife or something like that. He has more than that. He has a lot of tattoos, but those are the ones I remember. And if I looked at a picture of Tupac's tattoos, I would know right off the bat, oh yeah, I remember he has that one, and that one. But those are the main ones that stick out because I think they have a lot of meaning. Thug Life stands for, I can't remember. I used to remember what it stood for, but it's not necessarily a negative thing. It is negative, kind of, but it's not negative from the person themselves being a thug, but it's thug life from the way that they're treated in society, which makes it thug life. And so that's what's unique about that thug life tattoo on his stomach with the AK-47, and then boom, the Egyptian one. So it has a lot of history. I always heard the stomach is the most painful. So I could only imagine when he was getting that tattoo, if he was like, shit, he was probably drinking and smoking some. Tupac was probably drinking and smoking something when he was getting the tattoo on his stomach. Okay, thank you guys for checking in. We'll see you later. Have a good day.